Hey guys, what's up? Brandon here. And so I got a few requests on the lews Baitcaster braking systems for my last couple videos. I didn't really go into very much detail with those, so that's what I'm gonna do today. I've got each of their braking systems on each different reels laid out here, and I'm gonna go through them and quickly show you how you can adjust those and kind of how they work. All right guys, so the first braking system I'm going to go over is the magnetic control system, or the MCS. And this one, the example I'm using for today is the speed spool, $99 speed spool. So let's get started on it. Like the name says, it's magnets inside there that are increasing the pressure to the spool to slow it down or speed it up. So you have your min and your max. If you turn it to max, it's going to add more magnets to that spool and slow down that spool quicker and make for shorter cast or just more manageable cast. Turn it to min, it's going to release that braking system and let that spool spin a lot more, increasing the distance your cast, but obviously making it harder to manage the line on your spool. So you'll have to adjust that to where you're comfortable. But so as we flip it over and look on the inside, you can see these magnets in here. And as we turn this dial, we'll turn it up. That whole rim, you can tell this whole rim right here is coming up, which would be in closer to the spool. And then I turn it back down, and that magnet, that whole rim, you can see it going away from the spool. So that's all it's doing, is applying those magnets, adding the magnets to the spool to slow down the spool as you cast. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty basic. The most basic braking system that they have. It's usually in their lower end models because it's not an advanced braking system. It's a simple braking system, but it does work just fine. It's very effective. So that's the magnetic control system. All right, so the second reel I'm going to go over is the multi-setting brake, or the MSB. And for that, I'm using the custom speed spool. This braking system's in a lot of the reels, but for this example, I'm going to go over the custom and show you how that one works. All right, so the multi-setting brake is in a lot of the lews reels. It's probably their most common braking system. It's kind of a two-part deal. So I got here the custom reel, and I've taken the side plate off. So it's kind of got what I just went over in the speed spool. It's got the magnetic system in it, so you can see the shoes, and as you turn it back and forth, that whole ring in there comes up or down, applying more brake or less brake. And it's got the free and the max. So free, obviously the spool will continue to spin freely. The more you turn it up, it's going to add more pressure. So this part of the braking system is kind of like the speed spool, where it's added only at the end of the cast. So as the bait's getting close to the water, this brake is applied. The other part of this is the multi-setting part, which is the internal brake shoes. So if you can see here, these 4 white switches, and this braking system, when applied, it kind of applies through the whole cast. So as you're casting, it's adding pressure to the cast. As the spool's going really fast, those shoes come out to kind of slow it, kind of make the spool spin evenly. You know, obviously the more you apply, the more pressure it's going to apply, braking through the whole cast. So I typically have, like you can see here, I have 2 on. So basically what you do, I'll just click this one. So that's off. So you can tell that they're off when you can't move them. And then just click them on, you take your finger, and you hear it click. And then you tell them that they're on. You basically, see if we can show you here. So that's the brake coming out. If you can see that at all, I'm not sure. But it comes out right there on the side, and that's showing that it's on. So I like to have, at least for this one, it's kind of different for everything depending on what you're throwing, but I have 2 on here and then 2 off. Kind of gives me I feel like an even pressure on the spool. It's not too much, you know. So that is the multi-setting brake. All right, so this is the Speedcast Adjustable Centrifugal Brake System, or the ACB. This is a 4-pin system on this Hypermag. They also have a 6-pin system on some of the other reels. It also has the adjustable dial on the outside. So it's got your min and your max. And as you turn it up, or down, I guess here's down, and then back up, max, that ring comes up higher or closer to the spool if you had it on the reel. This ring here is pushing against these brake shoes in here. There's 4 of them. So obviously on the 6, there'd be 6. But for this one, there's a 4-pin system, 4 brake shoes. So this ring is pushing on those shoes. The max, it gets closer to those orange shoes. This is actually applying even pressure. As you turn that dial to max, it's evenly across the whole spool, so it's not making anything out of balance. And that's how the ACB 4-pin centrifugal braking system works. All right, so this is the Quietcast Adjustable Centrifugal Brake. It's the 6-pin system. This is in the Pro TI, so their highest end reel. So this is pretty much the highest end braking system they have. It's very similar to what I just showed you on the 4-pin Speedcast. The braking system here, so you got the dial, and that's going to turn, as we'll show you. Min goes down, and then max brings that ring closer to these brake shoes. So inside you have your 6 shoes where you get the 6-pin part, and as you increase the brake on that dial, it's putting that ring closer to these shoes, applying pressure, but it's applying even pressure to the spool. There's not one brake pushing in on one side of it, and then what that does, it creates balance on that brake. So that brake is kind of, if you think about like kind of a disc brake where you just have one section that just clamps down like on your car, it can create things out of balance and make a rougher stopping. And then you have centrifugal, which basically applies even pressure to the whole spool and creating a smoother, better braking system. The Quietcast part of this is the only difference from this and the Speedcast. So the Speedcast was kind of the original braking system they came out with. And these shoes are more vertical up and down as they push on this ring here to apply stopping pressure. So what they did, they changed the angle of these shoes and how they applied pressure to that ring, which made it quieter, and it made the overall casting and of the reel and the performance a little bit better. So that's how the ACB 6-pin system works. All right guys, so this is the Smartplus Centrifugal Braking System with the 6-pin. This is on the BB1. This is one of their earliest braking systems. I'm not even sure if they have it on other reels. This may be the only one it's on. So kind of the difference in this one, it actually doesn't have that external adjustable dial. It's all internal. So this one takes a little more fine tuning, but once you do, you can cast these things a long ways. I pretty much strictly use these for my crankbaits, large crankbaits, so I can casting those a long distance. It's not really built for accuracy. Anyways, how this works is the blue pins here are they're basically kind of taking place of that magnetic adjustment that you typically have on the outside of these reels. So those are at the end of the cast again. So you turn these on, and that's going to be your braking system towards the end. I've kind of done it a little bit both ways. I've had these off with a couple of these on, but to get started, I would turn these on, and basically to turn them on, so they'll click. For any of these dials, when they're off, they won't move. But if you push them out, they'll click open, and then let me get more focused here. And then they will move freely. If you can see, as you cast, see this, the blue right there? that comes out towards the end of the cast, and that's your brake for the end of the cast. And then the white ones, I have two of them, one of them on, excuse me. So to tell if it's on, that obviously that moves freely as well. And you can see that brake, maybe. It's coming out right down here. That's when, now you know that's on, you can see it come out. And then these that aren't moving are off. And that's going to be the brake similar to the other ones that is applied to the beginning and throughout the cast. And then the blues are at the end again. So that is the Smartplus centrifugal braking system on the BB1. All right, guys. Well, I hope I answered some of the questions you might have had with the lews Baitcast braking systems. And if I didn't, please leave a comment below. I'd be happy to help answer it best I can. And as always, guys, thanks for watching.